Feminine. How are you guys doing? I know we meeting up at the end of every week for now, but no worries. I'll be flooding you guys soon, all throughout the week. All right, so let's get into your energy and see what's going on. As I was preparing, I picked up on this like apologetic energy, as if someone that has been dealing with you, and for a lot of you women, these are men, are going to have a lot of flashbacks and reflective thoughts, to the point where I feel like they're going to see where a lot of the things that they did, they're going to see how it got you guys off track. Okay. Will this be haunting to them? I don't know. And is this your divine masculine? We will find out when we do that section. But right now, generally, they feel like men, because the energy that I'm getting from it, it gives more of like the way that men are structured as being a part of how this happened, right? You know how like the way men's brains are wired and stuff, they're showing all those sorts of components that played a role in it, and maturity, and why they don't mature as fast as women, or why they aren't equally mature as women. You know, it's so many different components that's showing up with it, which leads me to believe and interpret that this has a lot to do with definitely the male anatomy altogether, chemically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, intuitively, you know. So let's get into it. Welcome to my newbies. Hello to my oldies. My name is Diamond, and you are watching Pretty Blind Eyes. The readings held on this channel are for entertainment purposes only. The discussions held on this channel should not be taken as literal advice. I am legally blind, so I do read Braille on my cards to decipher what they are, but I'm an overall intuitive reader. In the description box below, you can find several ways to interact with me, one of which is the availability to book private readings. That calendar is open. Thank you guys for the love, support, gifts, donations, journeying with me in patience. I hope you're ready to get in this car and buckle up real soon, because the time is almost near. Okay, so in the meantime, in between time, I would like to thank you guys for still supporting me at the school right now, as we are under reconstruction. And you guys will be seeing soon what we're going to be getting into over there. Okay, so thank you. All right, Divine Feminine. Let's see what's going on here. I feel like also some of you could, you are going to pick up on these feelings that these particular men may be having. For some of you, it could be a collective of men. Anything stemming from maybe father issues or father traumas, you know, whatever dynamic you have with your father, your uncles, like men in your family, all that. Like, so this is like something tying into that a lot too. I just feel like right now you're in receptive mode, and they're wanting you to be okay with being in that, knowing what that feels like, knowing how to use it to advance yourself, knowing how to use it to evolve yourself, knowing how to use it to be progressive and productive. So again, you're just in a very strong receptive mode. This could cause you to be observant too, and they want you to know that that's okay, just as long as you do what you need to do with it in a positive way that is, again, productive for you. So if you're observant, on one end, you could be on the dark side of it and start to try to manipulate energy, run from it, mask it, numb it, anything like that. Or you could be on the far right side, where you will reflect too much and have all these unfinished projects and stuff. Or you could just try to find a balance in the middle of it, and just know that you got to take one with the other and then alchemize the energy. So you're definitely in receptive mode. You're definitely in your feminine energy. Okay. It's a very soft energy. This kind of feels like what I posted on my twin encryption page, my second page here, where I really feel that, like, I really feel receptive too. So to just see this come out like this is pretty dope. King of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Devil card. Okay, yeah, there's a lot. The pot is staring up for sure. And I just feel like you can feel the rapture coming, right? So again, intuitive energy, feminine energy, right? You have a feeling like something is off, right? Like, even when you look at the news, it's like, yeah, something's about to happen, right? You guys are feeling that? Which, again, there are context clues going on here. There are little clues all around, with the way things are being shut down, the government shut down, the cutoff of SNAP benefits, all that kind of stuff. All that has a grand design to it that I feel like if you just relax in the energy, you'll be able to start to pick up on those roadmaps and what it is. And if a lot of you just calm down, to those of you who may be panicking about any of it, you'll be able to see too. If there isn't one thing that we have not learned during the pandemic, is fear is what keeps the sickness inside of you and attracts it to you. So if you are letting these little things that's happening now get you in an uproar, what kind of energy are you going to have when it's really time to have that energy? All right. Don't fall for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to trust the process. I always keep telling y'all, let Trump cook. Y'all know I would tell y'all if it's something off, because I won't into Trump when his first term and when he ran. And I always tell you guys that. And I always say, I don't know if it was blue tie or red tie Trump, but whichever one this is not the one that was then. Okay. All right. And I just rhymed, so I know that was channeling there. So, all right. So far, Divine Feminine, you guys are in just like a receptive mode, and Spirit is calling for you to be comfortable being in that receptive mode. Because, I mean, there's different levels of freedom that's going to come into this when it comes to your individuality, when it comes to you finding the rest of your identities in different situations. And what I mean by that is the daughter you, the auntie you, the mother you, the sister you, the cousin you, the coworker you, the student you, the teacher you. You know, all of these different personalities are very important for you to take note of, pay attention to, process, journal about, do what you need to do. But you have to be okay with all these different versions of you. It's like Spirit is showing that these sorts of things are coming to the surface here, because what is unseen is that with AI going on and us doing all this training for AI, like we're really training these bots, they're making all of these different sides to you come more to the surface in a way that, for some of you, if you're not careful, it can offset different mental disturbances that you may think are mental disturbances, but it's like an energetic force field thing going on. Okay, I don't want to confuse y'all there. We'll save that for a collective reading. But with the Queen of Swords here, you just have to trust and understand what's going on. I mean, the Queen of Cups, right, and the Two of Swords. Yeah, this is getting you very tapped into your soft energy, your intuitive energy, your emotions, your wanting to understand partnerships and partnering. And for some of you, you could I don't know, you're going to have the touch to calm down obnoxious men here too, if you embrace the soft side of yourself and this receptive energy. You know, it's a very still energy. It's a very graceful energy, and it's okay to be in this energy. You can't, if you run from it, you're going to cause a bunch of mess. Okay? And it looks different for everyone, you know, in different ways, unique to you and whatever it is you have going on. Just Spirit just kind of like touching the bases of it so that you can then connect the dots of how it applies to you, you know. See, Three of Swords. Let me see if this is your heartache, and the Eight of Cups, and let's see, Nine of Wands. Sun card. No, this is someone else's regret, you know. I feel like they're looking back and seeing where they could have been a lot more compromising. They could have been a lot more understanding to your needs. They could have been a lot more of a listener and a supporter and not controlling or possessive. So I just feel like, please be still, be present, because you doing that, all the work is being done for you. These people are going to be very, very triggered. They're going to have a lot of flashbacks of the type of relationship that they had with you. And the reason why Spirit said you're the daughter you, the mother you, and all that, because it is going to be different people that you have relationships with that's going to have these flashbacks. They're, you know, some of them will admit you crossed their minds and they want to get it right. Some of them will try to numb it. You know, you're going to get a mixture of everything, but you just don't, you know, just be receptive and relax. You know, they're calling you to just meditate and do a lot of inward things to just nurture that receptive energy that God is gonna bless you with, because it comes with that comes a lot of benefits, a lot of roadmaps, a lot of clarity is gonna come in for you, Divine Feminine. Okay, Page of Cups, Ace of Cups, World card. With the Chariot card, I feel like the final huge celebration for you. Queen of Wands, Five of Wands, Chariot card. So Yeah, be careful not to prematurely do something like travel or, yeah, you're going to have to try to balance this out because you're going to be tempted to pull up, argue. Some of you, depending on which relationship this is that knows how to press your buttons. But for the most part, for most of you, you guys feel zen. You guys feel good. But there is a there are a few feminines here that have to work on their attitudes. You know, your choice of words that could be very cutthroat and could speak things into existence on a very negative level. You know, cursing people. You got to work on that. Work on your tongue. And so this again ties into grounding and meditating and just taking care of your mental health, getting a positive attitude, getting your attitude in check, getting your patience in check. You know, by first addressing those frustrations that lie dormant inside of you that may not have nothing to do with how things are coming out currently with other people. You know, it's just like by default, you ended up attracting all of these situations that keep you angry and bitter because it's what was programmed inside of you. And you have to choose you and God and let it peel off. Let it peel off. Somebody got a title like that. Was that Virgo, I think? Maybe two zodiac readings ago. Might have been late September or early October. Peel off fast or something. Flash in front of me. All right, so let's look at your divine masculine here. You guys were very mysterious then in that case. Jeez. All right. You got to be okay with being still. And you got to be okay with people figuring that out on their own. Just know that you remain powerful by being still, and that's already penetrating their force field and making them like regret and think back to things. And the minute you jump in, you could mess their growth up. You can enable them, or you could set yourself up to where you'll become the blame while they play victim, and then victim shame you. So just don't. You know what I'm saying? Just chill out. It's okay. Let them be who they are. That's the best way to teach people. Just let them walk on their own and fall a little bit and stuff like that. It's the only way they gonna learn. That don't mean you're abandoning them or neglecting them. You're still there being of support in the best way that you can, so that they can learn that they're not entitled to you, and you're not there to fix their broken pieces. You know, or pick them up and patch them back up together. It's time for you to get out of that energy and just learn your superpower and being there for people in a nurturing way that also has boundaries for yourself. This is all about letting go and letting people be free to, and then being okay with what that looks like for you. You have to be okay with standing alone in the Nine of Pentacles energy, because really you're not alone. How are you going to get to know your angels and God and your source of the light if you always keep clutter around you and no good people and people that keep you angry and bitter and shit? Like you're never clearing up that space for that to come in. All right, divine masculine here for you. How are you guys doing? Two of Pentacles with the Nine of Swords and the Lover's card. I was tripping, I was something with these women in these streets. Lost my girl, lost some, wish I could take it back. So Damage by Chris Brown is coming out. 3 a.m. when my phone ring, begging me to come by. I was right around the corner. I know I could have said no, but I ain't stopped. Told me come in, door unlocked for you. My intuition, I should have listened to it. My girl, she'd be pissed if she knew about this visit. She had a tank top on. I took a tank top off. I should have stopped. But she didn't let me. Kiss me soft and gently. She tipped me. Right then I started thinking consequences. Man, I must have lost my mind for a minute. Listen. I loved you. It hurt. That was lust. Shouldn't have happened. I know I messed up. One phone call started this whole thing. Now look at the damage. The damage that I caused you. I know I broke your heart and I did you wrong. Look at the damage. This decision I ain't proud of, not 1 hour or something, cost me your love. Okay. All right. Now, what happened here with this first set, and when I was singing those lyrics there, again, a lot of intuitive energy came out. You were the Queen of Cups. You were the High Priestess. This reminds me, and they're telling me to tell y'all this. It reminds me of my ex, right? And when things started to shift with us, and I started getting less of him. And, I could tell, like, we know. And I think they also know that we know when they switched up, because they know what they're not doing no more and what they used to do to be involved with you. But this is the thing too. If they don't feel it in their heart to do that anymore, that's like the red flag right there to them. They're like, wait, something is off. I'm not happy. But instead of men addressing not feeling happy in that relationship anymore, they just branch off from it and just get into other shit and make a big bunch of mess, because they weren't taught to address their emotions or identify what's going on in the inside of them. So so again, I see why it came out like that in the beginning about the male anatomy and the way their brains are wired and things like that. But where I'm going with this is that when it shifted like that, like I had a similar situation like that happen to me actually with my ex, where his ex called him over. I was on vacation, and he went over there, and she claimed that she just wanted to talk or whatever, but it was at night. I was just like, when he finally told me the story, it's like, dude. But this is the catch with it. If any of you guys can ever think back to you've been in a relationship, ladies, right? And you really have them dreams, right? You really have them dreams. Like, you can feel different in your awakened state, like, something is off. And like, duh, like, you're just like, okay, you're not texting me the way you used to, da 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 da. And a guy can say, well, I've been busy. I've been this. Okay, fine. We can give him that. But we already know intuition is on point, even with that, right? But okay. Let me step back from that, because now you make yourself, or even they play into that and they gaslight you, or they make you feel like you're just crazy or you're just tripping, right? That's what they're saying. Like, for you, this is a part of yourself you're about to start dealing with. When it came to being in relationships like that and you were being cheated on and stuff, you're going to revisit that in a sense of just knowing that all that time you could have really trusted your intuition, but to only now trust it is that you had to go through that. But in the future, it's just going to be, you could choose to be a lot more stronger when it comes to it. So then after I was played off, well, oh, you just crazy. You just mad because I can't do that. I'm not doing all of that no more. Not, just gaslighting the fuck out of me. Like, I was the problem. Like, how now is this a problem? But this wasn't a problem when this is how we fell in love. So now why is it an issue, right? And the thing with him was that I started to see and feel when things started to shift one by one. And with him, it started with the long distance. Then it started with him just trying to put together that my parents, especially my mom, did not want us together, did not like him, did not think he was a good suit for me. So that was kind of like a self-fulfilled prophecy that he picked up on within himself, where he did pretty much prove her right, because of his fear of that he was not good enough or worthy enough, which was something he always felt when he even got into the relationship with me anyway. It's something that they carry inside of them no matter who they're with, and that's how these sorts of things manifest to begin with. It just never really ever starts out with being, or ends with it being that you were the problem, right? But then in those relationships, when they're cheating and they tell you that you're crazy and you just nagging or you da 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 da, it's just like, it's other forms of frustration that already was bubbling up inside of them, and they never confronted any of that within themselves, and then it caused you to get hurt too, because hurt people, of course. And so then it escalated, right? It escalated into me really having these dreams of him cheating, or I would, like, the girl would be in the dreams with us, and I used to bring it up to him, and still I was crazy, oh, it's just a dream, da 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 da. And then when he could not take it anymore and the cat was out the bag, he goes, I was like, how many times? You ask those questions. You're gonna ask the cheating question, like, what was it? What did I do? What happened? Where did we go? And a lot of times there's certain things they don't even realize that really was the issue, and had always been an issue in all their relationships, not just with you. But these are things that we take on when we decide to, be in relationships with broken people, and as broken people ourselves as women. And so he told me, he said, every time you had a dream that I cheated, I did. And I think he told me it was like one time it was even like not, well, I'm not gonna say minutes. Well, if 30 minutes at the least to about 2 hours after he cheated, I was being sucked into the dream world because I got so stressed in that relationship with us. I started sleeping in the middle of like I would go to sleep like really early and not even know I was sleeping because I'd be worried so much. It's like when somebody dies and, so you almost start grieving before you even find out the person is cheating, to be honest with you, because you start to feel like a part of a piece of you that you bonded with is gone because it really leaves, even though they're physically there. So again, as women, our intuition is like, and so like lit. I know I didn't say a word, but so yeah, he did. He said every time, and he said it got so scary to the point where it was that, and he just always knew. He said that he never really could cheat on me because he knew what type of woman that I was to begin with, and I thought he was just saying like, my character or something, but what he was referring to was some high priestess shit, some intuitive energy. It's like, how do you date a psychic? Well, one that's tapped in anyway, and one that kind of sits in that, and let it come in, versus ones that feel it and panic and try to control it. And that's what Spirit is calling you guys to do. Just let it come to you. If you try to jump up and do something about it, you're going to make a mess. So if you ask God to show you things, you got to be willing to receive it the way that you and him both know is best for you to receive it. And it requires a lot of self-discipline and patience. It could drive you crazy. But see, 3 of Swords, 9 of Cups, Empress card. So even for you, when it comes to your divine masculine here, a lot of things for you reflectively is going to come out in the past due. So I can't wait to do their reading to see what you look like in theirs. But for you, you're going to be reflective too. But when it comes to your divine connection. So the one at the beginning where people around you was being reflective, those are just different relationship dynamics that you have with different people. So it could be your mom, your granny, your brother, you got all of them reflected. I'm telling you, and just for some of them, it's going to make them want to get better and be great and everything. So just let that cook. But then when it comes to your divine masculine here, obviously, they could be in reflective energy, thinking about the different people they did wrong and wanting to extend out an olive branch or get some shit right just to feel aligned with the connection with you. But then they also are going to evaluate whether they are worthy, whether they are capable of living up to their own expectations of what looking like a real man is supposed to be like, if it's men here in the masculine energy, put it where it applies, guys. But because they are really talking about male autonomy here and the components of the male and how he's constructed on a Mars level, that's why I'm mentioning actually the male genetic system completely, because all of that plays a role in it, even when we talking down to the blood, and what's in men genetically and what they've been programmed to do, all throughout these lifetimes that we've had. All of that play a role in it, not just, I don't know. We all are up against more than just who we are this lifetime. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because it's so much that we're not just healing things from this lifetime, but it's all sorts of imprints, genetic encoding from several lifetimes before. I'm hitting my, sorry about that. 9 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles. I promised myself I would get better with that. 8 of Pentacles, 9. I'm shocked. Like, I'm just like, man, this is getting wild in a sense of, this is very, I don't know, it feels hypnotic though. It's very reflective. But for your divine masculine here, it's going to hit him like a ton of bricks, because a lot of them were in this mechanic energy, this productive energy, using maybe work, money, material things to mask the truth, and it caused them to neglect you and abandon you. See, Wheel of Fortune, Temperance card. I feel like though, they're going to see where something pays off when it comes to y'all connection, but it's through something that you'll get publicly. Like there's some public notoriety here, some sort of strong come up for you. Some sort of award. Yeah, you got some good stuff coming in, and that's why they're getting you to practice the unseen, you know, or practice being that 5 or 3%er. It's getting master teacher. Like if you were going for karate and you want to know, like, how do I break that board in half? And you think you can just walk up and take your hand and just chop it in half. But it comes with a lot of discipline and ways that you get there that one could never imagine that you get there in order to chop that board in half. You see what I'm saying? And they're pulling you in this sort of energy to prepare you for an initiation and some sort of public notoriety. And look at this, y'all. King and Queen of Wands. They're going to be so proud of you for something here. Let me see. 10 of Swords, World card. Yeah, you're entering into a whole new stratosphere. 6 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles. Yep, there's an organization type energy here. I think it just is going to even y'all out, whatever this is that you get into. Because it has a lot to do with self-awareness, growth and development within yourself. And this is going to enhance your connections with people. So it's a lot of connectivity happening here. So with Divine Masculine, with all this going on with them, I feel like you both are about to see where, even through their chaos, you prevailed and became honorable. And I do feel like a lot of you will literally be honored. Something is going to be made right. Something that was done wrong. So maybe you don't even know that you were mistreated in some sort of way, but it gives, because they're showing the part on Ray, the movie Ray, when he got the key to Georgia after being, during discrimination, when they banned him from performing there, because what was it? Did he performed in front of a mixed crowd, or he just kind of went against the Jim Crow law and all that kind of stuff? It's something like that. Like, you're gonna get honored for something. A lot of you. Some of it could tie into civil rights and advocacies in some sort of way, representation. It's very honorary. It's like getting a stripe or something. Like when you're in the military and stuff, there's a badge of honor here. A lot of them too. So for some of you, these are programs or organizations you could join and just work your way up and get all of these different badges that represents different levels of your inner growth. So it's beautiful because it matches them. It matches your divine masculine. It's everything the two of you are. And when we're speaking of this sort of dynamic. But all right, divine feminine, my name is Diamond. You're watching Pretty Blind Eyes, and I'll see you next go around. Bye.